Hello. Long time no hear from, right? Oh, I need something on this mouth. Oh my goodness. I am on my way to okay. How are you? I hope you're good. I am going to be good. I am. I'm just, I have 2 kitty cats and they shed like, I just, it's a lot going on. I just had to, I'm sorry. I'm frazzled. I'm frazzled, and what better way to become unfrazzled than to speak to my peeps, my friends, my family. I'm just plugging in the good GPS. I'm going to my daughter's house, and if you hear me, my apologies. Here in Georgia, the pollen is okay, and I'm itchy. My eyes are itchy. Okay, I don't want this to be a long video, but it is so much to catch you guys up on. Oh my goodness. The drama. I don't even know where to begin. Well, let's start with the good stuff, okay? This morning was weigh-in. I'm at 144. That's me clapping. I'm at 144.2, I believe. My trainer has been smiling. So I've lost about 34 pounds, 34 since October. Slow and steady wins the race, right? So now we're just focusing on building the muscle. Me and my husband, we're supposed to be going to the Dominican Republic next month. That's not gonna happen because I gotta do my show first. Oh, I look so swollen. So that's it. That's all. Every time I start talking to you guys, it's always a road rager pulling up behind me. I'm doing more than the speed limit, but anyway, I'm just gonna focus on you guys. So yeah, we're gonna have to postpone that trip. But in the meantime, we are planning a family trip, a family cruise to Mexico. And that's not going to be until maybe August or September. But in July 15th, as a matter of fact, a whole bunch of my childhood friends, the name of our group is called the Get Along Gang. We've been called the Get Along Gang for a while. Excuse me. And we're going to hang out for a weekend in Panama City, which is where everybody is from except for me and a few others. But anyway, so that's catching you up on the good stuff. Now, here's the drama. So I think I did either 2 or 3 parts about my youngest daughter's boyfriend. We called him +1, the whole Thanksgiving debacle, yada, yada, yada. Well, I wish you could see my car because my car is full of my youngest daughter's stuff, like her belongings. Like, she will not be living with me for a while. And no, I'm not kicking her out. Okay, so I don't have to recap. Just go back and watch the videos talking about the drama and +1. I don't want to use his real name. We call him +1 in these parts. So come to find out that after Thanksgiving went down, right? Oh, I told you how he was in the coma. He was in the coma. I think I told you guys that. And if I haven't told you about the fake coma he was in, please let me know. But I'm almost, where am I going? I'm almost positive I told you guys about the fake coma. So I didn't know, because I'm mom. Who am I, right? And my husband is just dad, right? We know nothing, okay? Well, no one knew that even after he was caught in the lies about the fake coma, my youngest daughter was still seeing him, still texting him, communicating, blah, blah, blah. So, how I found out is there was one day I was coming home from the gym I was coming home, and in front of my mailbox, there was this white big body Benz in front of my house. Now, plus one has not been welcome inside my home, so my daughter knows he cannot come inside my home. So he's been, at this particular time, he was waiting outside my house. So when I go inside the house, I go upstairs to her room, and I'm like, hey, did you know plus one is out there? She was like, yeah, we're gonna go talk. Now, my daughter is 21 years old, okay? She's not 12. So I just walked away, and she knew I was not happy about that. So when she comes downstairs, I wanted to have another conversation with her and to make sure that I saw exactly what she was wearing. And she changes her hair color all the time, so I wanted to make sure I knew what color her hair color was, what she was wearing, just in case something goes down, right? And I told her, I said, listen, I know you are technically an adult. You can do what you want, but you can do so much better than this. It's just not safe for you to go out with him. She was like, Mommy, I got this. It's going to be okay. So she goes. A couple of hours later, she came home. So I'm frustrated. Now, by this time, my oldest daughter, I just have two kids, right? My oldest daughter retired from the military, or not retired, but she got out of the military and she moved back. She got her own place. So I was gossiping with my oldest daughter, and I just was like, yeah, your sister went out with plus one. And she was like, what? And I was like, yeah, whatever. So when my oldest daughter was in the military, she used to handle payroll for the Navy. And what she did was she pulled all of plus one's information. Now, she pulled it to show her sister that basically everything he has claimed to be in the military is a lie, right? So she has all this information. She had already sent it to me. But I asked her to send it to me again, because now it's to the point where me and my husband need to meet with plus one's parents. Now, I know somebody's going to say, yeah, but they're 21 years old, because they're both 21. But she's still my kid. She's still my daughter, right? So out of the blue, I called plus one's dad. I called his mom, and dad called me back, because of course I was pushed to voicemail. They didn't know who I was. He called me back, and I said, hey, this is Maya. Now, we've met before, because plus one is an aspiring rapper, and he had a coming out party, and we went to the party. So we met his parents before. So he called me back. He was like, hey, what's up? I was like, hey. I said, there's some fishy things going on between your son and my daughter, and I was hoping that maybe me and my husband, you and your wife, we can get together and we can kind of talk about these things and kind of, iron some things out. He was like, sure, when are you available? I said, I'm available like right now. He's like, well, what about an hour? I was like, fine, let's do it. We met at the Starbucks. And immediately when mom was walking towards me, she had this look on her face. Like, okay. And so as they are walking towards me, I held my hand out to her. I said, please don't come to this meeting with the attitude. I'm not here to attack. We are all on the same page. We are all on the same team. So the attitude is unnecessary. Right? So we get to talking. And I like to, because no one wants to hear crap about their kids. That's period, right? So I was very mindful to choose my words wisely. I was mindful to season my words with salt and to speak from a place of love. Now, my husband was about maybe 5 minutes after I had to tell the girl to fix her face, right? And so we're all talking, and I'm telling them all about Disney, which the stepmom did not know he was at Disney with us. Dad knew, stepmom did not. And I did make sure to say, you know, some of the things that he did, like he bought the gun, you know. And what I was noticing, my husband noticed it too, that their facial expressions as I was talking did not change. They were just like this. And, you know, I'm animated with mine. I use my fingers. I use my hands. You know, they were just like, and I was like, okay. So the stepmom wound up telling me, yeah, because every time your daughter comes by the house, she is extremely rude. And I was like, rude? How so? How, Sway? Explain. She was like, she'll just come in the house and just go straight upstairs to, you know, to Callie's, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have used his name, to +1's room. And I was like, oh. I said, because I didn't raise a rude child. I don't, and especially this younger one, the oldest one, if somebody told me that she was rude, I could be like, But this baby girl, I just don't buy it. But okay, because who knows what these kids are like when they're not in our presence, right? Okay, so what I did was when she was done explaining how rude my daughter was, she doesn't even speak. She just goes straight to +1's room, yada, yada, yada. I apologized to her. That's not who I raised. You know, there's no excuse, X, Y, and Z. So she persists to tell me how her husband, although she doesn't agree, her husband a few times has been driving these two, +1 and my daughter, to hotels to stay the weekend. And the explanation the father gave was, I just want to keep the peace. Okay. So we went back to talking about the situation that happened in California. And I was like, you know, my daughter was very concerned. I was concerned too, because I know that some years ago, you know, his mom passed away, and I'm sensitive to that. You know, I mean, we've all experienced death, and very sensitive to that, and yada, yada, yada. And he has family in California, and I'm talking about the whole coma thing. And before I knew it, the stepmom says, Maya, I just want to let you know, we don't have any family in California. We don't have any family in California, and that's distant relatives or, you know, immediate family. We don't. And then she persists to say, Maya, I'm his mom. I said, what? She said, yeah, I'm not dead. So I stood up because I was like, what? What? She said, yeah, I'm not dead. She says, I have the birth certificate. I have the stretch marks to prove that I am Callie's biological mother. I gave birth to 4 children. He has 3 siblings. Yeah. she has arisen from the dead. So we finished talking, but they are not acting like what their son is doing is problematic. I kept hearing over and over again, we just want to keep the peace. And then come to find out, the boy's name is not even his real name. His name is something totally different. It was just like, it's a name that he made up. So I asked 3 times, how can me and my husband support you guys in this effort? I said, because he's still not welcome in my home. And they just was looking at me like I was crazy. I said, well, what you can do is if my daughter shows up at your house, call the police, period. Now, because I know this from history, that if someone invites you inside of their home, the police really cannot have them arrested because they've been formally invited. Now, if my daughter was to break an entry, that would be different. But I just told her, call the police. So now we had talked for about maybe an hour and a half. I'm on my way home. I called my oldest daughter. I'm letting her know what's going on, and I'm driving like a mad woman because in my mind, I'm convinced my youngest daughter knew that his mother was not dead. I'm convinced, right? I get home. She had just gotten out the shower. She came downstairs, and I was telling her how we had met with Plus One's parents, and basically I told her that his mom is not dead. Well, she looked at me like, what? And I said, yeah, his biological mother is alive. We met with her. My daughter ran upstairs, punched a hole in the door, locked herself in her bedroom, hysterically crying and screaming. And I'm like, me and my husband is like, what is happening? So I'm trying to open the door. She locked the door. She's hysterically crying. She's embarrassed. I finally get her to open the door. I hug her because now it makes sense to me that she didn't even know. So now she's done. Until last night. Because, let me back up. Last week when all of this went down, my youngest daughter was adamant. She was like, Mommy, I need to face his parents and apologize, because the reason why she was being rude and not speaking to anyone is because Plus One had fed her a whole bunch of lies, like he was being abused in that home. And he was telling her, don't speak to anybody, yada, yada, yada. So that's, but she doesn't want to justify her behavior per se, but she just wants to clear her name. So I told her, give it a couple of days, and we'll coordinate another meeting, and then we'll take care of it from here. So my daughter, that was on a Wednesday, my daughter decided to take it upon herself to send the dad a text, just to basically say, I'm available whenever you are to kind of talk, so I could just clear my name and be accountable for what I did wrong, right? He responds, okay, thank you. Last night, my daughter receives a 2-page dissertation from the father, basically saying, follow your heart, if you really love my son, you won't break up with him. Don't let people get in the way of your love. I mean, it just was a whole lot of mess. So when my daughter forwarded those texts to me, right? And I was just like, I knew the dad was a bit creepy, but the dad is a pastor. And I don't know of any pastor who tells somebody to follow their heart, because your heart is yet deceitful, right? So you're not following your heart, goofy. So I FaceTime her because she spent the weekend with her sister, my oldest daughter. And so I'm telling her, I knew the dad was weird too. She says, Mom, that's not his dad. I said, what do you mean? That's Plus One texting from his dad's phone. What? So my husband is convinced plus one just wants to get my daughter alone, and to do God knows what. So we have to file a restraining order against everyone in that home. Now let me back up again. Last night I did take those texts and I forwarded them over to plus one's mom. And plus one's mom responded and said, that is not my husband. Well, we know that, goofy. So, yeah. And that's the reason why I am on my way to my oldest daughter's house, because I had to pack up all of my daughter's stuff because she's going to be living with her sister for a while until things kind of die down, because we do have to get this TPO. We may have to get a lawyer involved just to make sure that things are enforced. I live in a home that's in a cul-de-sac, and I've been noticing that there are random cars coming into the cul-de-sac. And where I live, it's very quiet. We all pretty much know each other, but it's a quiet neighborhood. Cars normally are not coming in and through the neighborhood, except for the lady who's in charge of the HOA. You can see her from time to time driving around, making sure people's lawn be cut and stuff like that. But yes, I was just telling my husband I've been seeing some rando cars. So needless to say, my daughter does not need to be there. No, we're going to keep her, so I have all of her stuff, and I'm heading over to her to give her her stuff now. So my baby girl is just like, what is going on? So hopefully either today is Monday, hopefully either tomorrow or Wednesday, we're going to go ahead and get this protective order filed. And my main concern was that, are they going to even honor the protective order? Because he's not technically being violent. He's kind of being stalked. But we know that, people are not really taking stalking seriously. Not to mention, prior to this, my daughter was still in communication with him, right? So it's either we get the TPO, or we're going to have my lawyer friend draft up just a document saying, please stay away from my client, X, Y, and Z, and we can get that sent to plus one's family. So that is basically it, girl. A hot mess, I tell you. And my daughter, bless her heart, she's like, Mom, I'm just so sorry. Like, I bought this person in our family, I bought him. And I'm like, girl, just learn the lesson. Learn the lesson. Just a whole mess. But the blessing is, we're going to handle it. And see, my husband is not my kid's dad. So, I did go ahead and reach out to their biological father to let them know, basically, because he resembles Suge Knight. And yeah, he does resemble. And that's not a good thing. I don't even know why I giggled, but so he wants to come with us to file the TPO. And so it's just going to be very, very interesting. It's going to be interesting. And we are so looking forward for this to be over. Yeah. And we all need a family vacation. That's all I got to say. We need a family vacation. Just to kind of relax and have a little fun. And yeah, so that is all that's going. I wish I could read y'all this text, but I can't read, drive, and I have the GPS on, so it's a whole mess. And plus one is trying so hard to just get my youngest daughter away from everyone so he can talk to her. He don't even know that she got a whole family. So, yeah. And then I meant to tell y'all, when me and my husband was meeting with plus one's family, or mother and father, they did make mention. They just was like, yeah, we would like to hang out with you guys sometime, go to dinner. And I said, the thing about it is, we're not looking for quantity of friends. We're looking for quality of friends. We want good quality of friends. And they just was like, yeah, we get it. So when we left, I looked at my husband. I said, I'm not interested in, no. And then, so that next night, okay, after the meeting between us parents, plus one's sister reached out to my daughter and basically told her that plus one has adopted like a persona, like a whole nother personality. This is not even who he is, but he's been doing it for so long that he doesn't know how to be anybody else. He doesn't even know who his authentic self is. So this person is, and even in the text that his dad sent that we know is plus one, he says in there, and you can still call my son by his made up name. Like that, we know what your biological name is. We know he's still just trying to keep up the lies and it's so weird. But the blessing is this will never happen again to my daughter. Neither one of my kids. I hope not. So that is it. I'll let you guys know what happens after we file the TPO. I'll keep you posted. Okay, I'm 5 minutes away from my children. And yeah, a whole mess. All right, you guys, thank you for listening. And my allergies are so bad. Before I left, I took a Benadryl, 2 Benadryls. So I feel like a little, I'm tired. And it's only 4:21, but my allergies are just way, way, way too bad. So I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you guys for listening to the foolishness, because it is foolish. It could be worse, but it's not. And I will update you guys once I have more information. Y'all pray for my family. Pray. And not just my family. Pray for these kids out here. These kids are just, they're weird. So, all right. I will see you next time. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And before I go, that is the reason why I have not been uploading in about 8 or 9 days. That is the reason why. It's been just dealing with all of that. So I do apologize. All right, I'll talk to y'all later.